Well, I did call it. I did indeed call it. And you're probably like, yo, what did you call exactly? When it comes to this Dragon Ball Super arc, I definitely called something. And we're going to get into it because we've seemingly gotten the finale of the Dragon Ball Super mini prequel arc to the Dragon Ball Super Superheroes movie, with this whole Dr. Hedo trying to basically recover the stolen goods, so to speak, from Goten and Trunks as this little Great Saiyaman situation. And off rip, I gotta say, one of the reasons why it kind of fits to have been a very short arc, because what was this, like 3 or 4 chapters, you know what I'm saying, a volume, coincidentally, you know, just one nice little package with the Blu-rays and whatnot. It definitely felt as though it was a nice homage at the same time to the Great Saiyaman arc of Dragon Ball Z, because that was also a very short-lived arc, which I want to say that according to interviews, don't quote me on this one, but I do believe that Toriyama had plans to make that go a lot longer, but fans was like, I must go, must leave this house, I must go, the time is now, I must go, it's time to get out. Get it out of here, fam. Where's Goku? Where's Vegeta? Where's the big battles? What's going on? So for them to have done a similar arc, a Great Saiyaman-esque type of arc in Dragon Ball Super, but keep it also a very short-lived arc, so to speak, it kind of fits as well for, hey, that's what Saiyaman is, and at the same time, it's short and sweet so that fans get something different. It was definitely a breakaway from the mold, absolutely, but at the same time, it doesn't drag on to the point, like, because if this was 3 or 4 more months of this, a lot of people would have been very upset. I know fans, I know how they are, especially Dragon Ball fans. This is not Shiny Beam. What are you doing?
He not beating Goku. He not beating Goku. He not.
And when I say I know Dragon Ball fans, I'm not including myself in this one, honestly. Like, I was kind of rocking out for the most part with this chill arc. It's a nice little break away from the norm, especially we just got done with like 2 or 3 giant climactic arcs. I mean, from the Tournament of Power stuff, and then after that we had Moro, and then Granola the Survivor. What's wrong with 3 to 4 really cool little chapters, getting slice of life moments, taking it back to the basics, taking the spotlight off of Goku and Vegeta, as everyone has been proclaiming the Dragon Ball Super anime and manga has done up until this point of, yo, it's the Goku and Vegeta show. They were like, okay, y'all saying Goku and Vegeta show, Goku and Vegeta show. So not only are we going to give you guys a movie where it's not the Goku and Vegeta show, it's the Piccolo and Gohan show, but then we're also going to give you a little prequel to that movie in manga form where it's, again, not the Goku and Vegeta show, it's the Goten and Trunks show. And again, admittedly, maybe it's not the most exciting show, so to speak, like the Goku and Vegeta show, because Goku and Vegeta show oftentimes lands us in, you know, distant foreign planets and all sorts of wild chaos. This, at the same time, it was like, okay, well, what are the Z Warriors doing with this peace that they fight so heavily to obtain? You know, like, we go into these life or death situations, we fight against Moro, we fight against all of these incredible warriors throughout the universe and these massive battles. Well, what do we do when we finally obtain peace? What is life like for the Z Warriors? Especially considering the fact that finally with this arc, Goten and Trunks were aged up to a point where they don't look like toddlers anymore, because let's keep it real, y'all know it, I know it, they dragged the living hell out of keeping Goten and Trunks the same way they looked from their very first appearance for the longest time. I mean, for crying out loud, aside from, of course, GT and the last few episodes of Z, for the most part, all of the series has just been them, ever since Majin Buu, or, you know, Saiyaman arc or whatnot, them being 7 and 8 years old, and even as they age, they still looked exactly the same. Now, granted, I want to throw a counter to that, because this is, I guess, capping off this whole situation altogether, that don't forget that Saiyans don't age like normal people. Like, that's one of the things why Bulma is getting BBLs and all that stuff, because Vegeta ain't aging like, you know, Bulma is, because Vegeta is, you know, a Saiyan, and Saiyans age at a different rate. So even going back to Dragon Ball, Goku, he was like looking like a toddler the same way Goten and Trunks looked for a super long time. It's not until literally the end of Dragon Ball, the final arc, the Piccolo Jr. arc, where they finally got Goku to look, okay, now he looks like somewhat in the ballpark of a early version of the Goku we know now. So the fact that Goten and Trunks stood little like that for a long time, it was a little annoying, because a lot of people were like, yo, they have all this potential, there's so many things we could do with these characters, why do we keep leaving them as little babies? Now that they actually grew up, it's like, okay, it was about time. But I ain't gonna lie, in retrospect, I think we were off complaining about it, because it's like, fam, this is what Saiyans do. Saiyans stay little for a super long time, and I don't know why, I just want to throw this in there. I really would love to see a young Vegeta arc. That would be fire, and considering he would stay young for a long time, let's roll with it. Come on, Toei, you're giving us all these other ideas we didn't ask for. Give us that one. Why not? A nice spin-off, or, you know, a flashback arc or something like that. Who cares? It's super. You can do whatever you want. There's no, you know, format anymore of like, yo, it gotta be this. I mean, for crying out loud, look at this arc, what we did with it. You know, we just did a prequel thing to this movie that people saw like half a year ago at this point. Like, yeah, give us a Vegeta flashback arc. Why not? Yo, I ain't gonna lie. And then if they tie that into like another big grandiose villain that show, oh my god, Toei, stop playing. But yeah, going back to this arc, for the most part, honestly, very, very simple arc. The wrap-up of it overall, it was just like, it felt like exactly what they set out to do, of a slice-of-life arc, I guess building on the relationship despite the fact that it is pretty freaking weird with Trunks and Mai, that Mai is technically way older than Trunks, and even though Trunks looks like the future Trunks that we know from the future that is a lot older, he's like, what, 15 or something, 14? They're, you know, in high school and shit like that, and Mai, despite the fact that she was shrunken down, is still old as shit, so yeah, little weird. But whatevs, you know what I'm saying? It tis what it is, I guess. That's what Dragon Ball is offering. And also, they really made a conscious effort to push forth a lot of the side characters. I like the fact that Goten and Trunks' friends from high school kept on being included in different scenes. That was pretty awesome. It was like, hey, not only did ya provide representation with these characters that are people of color, they also decided, yo, we're gonna actually make them still somewhat relevant in this smaller, you know, slice of life type of arc. So again, kudos to Toyotaro and everybody involved for allowing that to happen. It was like, they could have easily been on some dummy mission and like, yo, here's some people of color in one chapter and then you never see them again. But they kept it pretty consistent with keeping them involved in the story, even with the last chapter that just wrapped up everything, where it's like, yeah, they're buddies, you know what I'm saying? When they're not saving the universe, when they're not fighting against galactic threats, those are their friends, and I appreciate that. Honestly, this arc, as far as like, yo, do you need it to watch Dragon Ball Super the movie? I think that's a really good question to answer, because a lot of people are probably going to be like, especially moving forward, let's just say they didn't watch the movie and they're manga only, or in general they don't know where to start to begin with. Do you necessarily need to read this prequel arc to get full context into the Dragon Ball Super movie? I'm going to answer a very brief, absolutely not. This is a nice little treat, I think, for anybody that likes Dragon Ball for things aside from the big battles and all of that stuff. This is up your alley. I also think if you liked a little bit more of that feel of like, yo, this Dr. Hedo dude, and you know, the ties to the Red Ribbon Army and seeing Goten and Trunks, all of that good stuff is provided there. But you definitely could skip this arc, I would pretty much say, and watch the movie and not feel like you're missing much. I wouldn't skip it just because I like that it adds character development, and ideally, if we're going to have Goten and Trunks be a lot more relevant and prevalent to things moving forward, this is the start of it. Heck, I would love for Dragon Ball Super, because again, there's no guideline other than that end of Z, which, please, let's pass it already. Can we please pass the end of Z, please? Even if we gotta ignore GT, take Super Saiyan 4 though. I ain't gonna lie, though. That's the only thing. Give me Super Saiyan 4. Obviously Pan's still gonna be there or whatnot, but give me the Super Saiyan 4 and we could just ignore a lot of the other stuff in GT. I'm just saying, don't hurt me, GT fans. But it would really benefit things if Super could surpass the timeline of Z, I'm just saying. But either way, this arc is not vital by any means. Not even to the really story of Dragon Ball per se, other than if you're a really big fan of Goten and Trunks, or if they're gonna really keep them as relevant moving forward. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it would be awkward, it would be a shame, and it would feel a little off if we went straight from this arc to a Goku Vegeta arc and act like this Goten and Trunks presence never happened. I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for Dragon Ball to spread its wings past the Goku and Vegeta show. In fact, now that I think about it, it kind of looks like the franchise and the people down at Toei have probably been trying to maneuver down that direction anyways, because realistically, it's going to kill for everybody that loves Dragon Ball, whatnot, if you just only constantly do Goku and Vegeta. After a certain point, that gets boring, dog. We've been saying for the longest time, fans been screaming, give us some of the other characters. And it looks like they started with the superhero movie, like, yo, here's the Gohan and Piccolo stuff y'all been asking for a very long time, despite even though Beast Gohan was like for a minute, you know, I'm still a little upset about that. But maybe the readaptation for the anime, whenever it inevitably returns, will be awesome, right? I mean, they could extend some of those scenes, have the transformation last a lot longer, even bring a perfect Cell, but that's a side note. But then you also get this arc again where it's just a Goten, Trunks, Mai. Like, you see a little bit of the other Z Warriors. You get Krillin, which was kind of a nice, neat little tie-in. Also, Krillin still being scared of Chi-Chi after all these years. And it's like, it would be so, like, damn near disrespectful to the last few months of these chapters if we just completely act like, oh, yeah, that was cool. No, we had Goten and Trunks, but back to Goku and Vegeta. Like, can we make them relevant? Can we power them up a little bit, even if it's on their off time? Because they are not Gohan, and that's something that we have to establish. Despite the fact that they are inspired by Gohan, despite the fact that they did the Saiyaman outfits, Saiyaman X 1 and 2, and all of that stuff that this arc provided, and, you know, going up against Hedo or whatnot, I think that one of the biggest things you got to look at is that they are not Gohan. They actually are down for the action. They're down for the adventure. It's like Goku and Vegeta want the fights. You know, if we're looking at the Saiyans from Earth, Goku and Vegeta, they just really want to fight. Gohan, he just really wants to study. And then Gohan, and then Goten and Trunks, they really want the adventure and anything that comes with it, including combat. So I think you could throw the argument that Goten and Trunks are right in the middle between Gohan and Goku and Vegeta. Like, they don't really completely love the thrill of the battle. That's not their bag. In fact, I want to say at the end of Z, they're like talking about, or it might have been the beginning of GT, where Goten is talking about going out on dates or whatnot. And then Gohan, you know, he don't care at all about fighting. He just wants his books. Give me my books, my lord. But these two, they kind of are, again, in the middle. Like, you get their school life, but then you also get that they will go out and fight. So I think it would be a massive shame to just have all of this content that built them up as characters, gave us development, all this cool stuff, and then just shove it to the side unless, like, I don't know, they planning on ending Super or something like that, which that would be ridiculous considering we got the Black Frieza set up and we still have everything that the Tournament of Power set up, which I'm still going to be looking at it like, there is so much that can be done with all of that. There is so Planet Saddle. There's so much Kale Khalifa. There's so much that is waiting out there to be explored. And now that we have this, why don't they shake things up a little bit? Considering everything that this arc provided of giving us caring about these older versions of Goten and Trunks, we could have an arc where it's so complex that Goku and Vegeta, we get them and they're fighting certain parts, and we also get Goten and Trunks, and like the stories can line up. Like, manga do that all the time. Look at One Piece. You'll have like 5 to 10 different subplots damn near every chapter. I would love for Dragon Ball to take everything that this arc provided and giving us these characters in a new light and kind of maneuvering it to where it's not only the Goku and Vegeta show, and also it's not only the Goten and Trunks show, it's the Dragon Ball show where everybody gets to shine, and we could have Goten, Trunks, and Krillin on a mission while Goku and Vegeta on a mission, and it somehow overlaps to where they got to cross over, but then they go back and forth. That would be great. I hope that they don't take what these chapters provided and flush it down the toilet because of X, Y, and Z. This would be awesome. I mean, I don't really care to see Hedo anymore. Like, and the ending of he only really wanted that to save the picture of he was a big fan. It was just, it was funny for what it was, and again, I'm not mad at it at all because it was short-lived. It was giving us a new light to Dragon Ball itself, or a fresh light to Dragon Ball. But overall, Hedo, you could leave him out of things unless you're going to bring him back with a new Cell or something, even though the movie kind of resolves his character arc of being evil, which he was never evil to begin with. But yeah, don't waste Goten and Trunks is what I was trying to say the last however many minutes. Like, they really should be utilized a lot more now, and I would also love to see them power up, maybe get some Super Saiyan Blue transformations in there, or some Super Saiyan God. Like, let's get them to go somewhere, or brand new transformations altogether. Dragon Ball can really, you know, reinvent the wheel for itself, so to speak, with like, okay, maybe they don't need to follow the footsteps and try to go Ultra Instinct like Goku, or try to go into Ultra Ego like Vegeta. Maybe they could find their own path. Remember, they are half Saiyans. At the end of the day, there's so many other things that can be done creatively to make them shine and not necessarily have to try and follow the footsteps of Goku and Vegeta, or even Gohan for that matter. They are kind of in a very nice and interesting spot of being in the middle, and I think and I hope when the Black Frieza situation and the Tournament of Power situation hopefully comes back into fruition with the story, that it kind of goes in that direction, because yeah, we're at a good point where Toei has showed they're not only interested in only Goku and Vegeta any longer. Let's see what they do with it. Let's get more Piccolo back involved. Let's get the Z Warriors in general with these powered up Goten and Trunks that are a little bit older. Still going to be funny and whatnot, but I'm hyped for it. I don't think we need any more for future Trunks to return, because now we got this Trunks. I think we don't really need any more to be like, Gohan, come back, because we got Goten. He's, you know, a little younger Goku type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? But again, in the middle, and that's what I appreciate in general that these chapters provided, of seeing again in the middle without Malcolm. Hey, Malcolm in the Middle reference, okay? Like, you don't get it? Like, huh? But I'm extraordinarily curious about what you guys that read these chapters, this little mini arc, this prequel to Dragon Ball Super Superhero, how did you feel about it? How did you feel about Dr. Hedo returning? How did you feel about, this slice of life aspect to Goten and Trunks? And do you feel like it would be a massive slap in the face and a waste for Dragon Ball moving forward to ignore what they set up with Goten and Trunks with this? Or do you think that that's the plan all along? It's that they don't want to only constantly rely on Goku and Vegeta. They know that is a ship sinking if they're just sticking to that one formula, and they're going to try and maneuver like, okay, it's not only going to be about Goku and Vegeta no more. We got Goten and Trunks. We just set them up. We're going to do other really cool and interesting things and keep Dragon Ball fresh because, yeah, people have been saying for years that even though they tune in, at the end of the day, Goku and Vegeta, how much more can we just constantly rely on? Ultra Ego, Ultra Instinct, Goku gets a new power-up, Vegeta gets a new power-up, oh, Vegeta lost, now Goku got to save the day, oh, Vegeta, like, yeah, we've exhausted a lot of that, and I think with Granola the Survivor, it really pushed Vegeta in particular to a new stratosphere where it's like he's developed immensely, and it's clearly showing. And anybody that's still complaining about him not getting the W, just stop. He got the W. He's the greatest character that Dragon Ball has right now. He's the most developed character that Dragon Ball has right now. That's the real W. Oh, but you want action, huh? You want him to kill somebody. Like, you want him to revert the fact that he's a good person now and go... I'm looking at you, lad. And your overall thoughts and expectations for Dragon Ball moving forward. It was a nice little break from the big climactic stuff that we had with Moro, Granola, the Tournament of Power, and all that stuff. Let's see where we go from here. Black Frieza, Tournament of Power, different universes and whatnot. I'm ready for whatever's to come with Dragon Ball, and looking forward to it. That's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.
I have a dream, alone in my room as I sit with the tea. Couldn't possibly think what I often see, and you don't even know how I often blink. Lights be flashing and looking at me, such a odd, unique, yet I'm so unique, and you're looking at me. If the wolves could talk, they would probably read me, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.